Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. You got an article here from the New York Post, the most recent Bud Light sales reports, the week over week sales reports, where they compare it to the same week last year, essentially. But Bud Light sales tanked by 23.6% over July 4 holiday amid the backlash. Sales of Bud Light fell yet again over the 4th of July holiday period as the Anheuser-Busch brand lost more ground to rivals Modelo Especial, Coors Light, and Miller Lite. Now we know up to this point they've been losing ground basically weekly, so that's nothing new, but I'm curious to see what the numbers are actually at for those other brands. The latest figures show sales of Bud Light dropping 23.6% in the 1 week period ending the July 8th compared to the same period last year, according to Nielsen IQ data provided by Bump Williams Consulting. So that's actually a bit of an improvement than where they've been. I think they've been at like 27 and 28% the 2 weeks prior to this. So it's a little bit of an improvement, but that's also reflected by the fact that Bud Light was pretty much giving away beer over that week period to try to save face, basically. And it looked like it kind of worked a little bit, but they can't sustain that. It's not something that they can do weekly or monthly or anything like that. Meanwhile, Coors Light saw its sales numbers soar 30.2%, while Miller Lite sales jumped 25.3% during the week ending July 8th. Sales of Modelo Especial, which is quickly closing in on Bud Light's 2-decade reign as the nation's top-selling beer, were up 20.7% during the same period. One bright spot for Bud Light is that its most recent drop in sales was a major improvement over previous weeks, which saw declines of 28 and 27% respectively. However, the Bud Light boycott has continued to infect sister brands within the Anheuser-Busch portfolio, according to the figures, which were reported by the Daily Caller. Budweiser saw a 6.6% drop in sales in the week ending July 8th, the numbers show. The influencer began promoting the beer to millions of social media followers in early April, most of which are the age of 15 or younger, which is the reason why the boycott started. I said a reason, not the reason. Prompting accusations that the brand was supporting a trans agenda. Well, people aren't boycotting because they think that Bud Light is supporting a trans agenda. They're boycotting because they're marketing alcohol to children. They hired a person to replace a biological woman. And in my opinion, we should allow biological women, whoever we are, society should allow biological women to have their spaces separate from people that are biologically different from them, including locker rooms, sports, all that stuff. We don't really have locker rooms to divide us by sex. We have it to divide us by biology. And so, to me, that's just what it really is, to be honest, And since we're speaking of social media and the influencer, let's go over here to this Daily Mail article. Bud Light's social media accounts are being slammed with abuse after resuming regular posting since Mulvaney backlash. I'd rather drink urine. So Bud Light critics are flocking to slam the beleaguered beer brand with abuse as it resumes regular posting following a hiatus amid the fallout. The beer label has been struggling since its April partnership, we all know. Bud Light's social media teams retreated into the shadows in mid-April following the backlash, and the beer giant disavowed the disastrous campaign. More than 2 months later, from June 22nd, the brand curiously resumed posting notably more politically neutral and often faceless advertisements on its social media accounts, which it doesn't mention here, but all of them got insanely ratioed. They're actually pretty entertaining to read through the comments, and especially the blocked comments or whatever, the deleted, hidden comments there on Twitter. Its post included pictures of Bud Light cans and cooler boxes glistening in water droplets and a photograph of a man's arm carrying a Bud Light bottle with part of his body visible in front of a bright blue sky. This week it shared a photograph of two women in shorts and sandals heading to the beach while carrying a 24-can crate of Bud Light on Twitter alongside the caption, "Summer Sunday made easy." I think that's this one right here. Right? Wouldn't that be it, maybe? I don't know. I could be wrong. This is it. Oh, there it is. Critics of the brand were quick to slam the ad, noting how the face of the foremost woman in the advertisement is obscured by the camera angle while her outstretched arm hides the identity of her friend. You know, and that reminds me of the Travis Kelce and the men grunting TV, commercial that Bud Light put out a couple weeks ago. Just goes to show, in my opinion, what the marketing team over there at Bud Light thinks of their customers. Essentially, is just a bunch of cavemen that grunt and drink beer and don't have any conversation or anything interesting to talk about. But so I think in their mind they said, you know what, let's give them what they want, and they gave us men grunting, and they thought that's what we wanted. Again, another swing and miss, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and continue here. I'd rather drink urine, described one person, while another said, nice try. Speaking about the actors, one person said, completely understandable that they'd hide their faces from the shame of it all. Another shared the same sentiment followed by 3 American flag emojis, adding once again, no faces. This should tell you something. And still, nope. Several people shared edited versions of the photograph to illustrate their distaste, including one man who made it look like the women were on the way to the bin with their Bud Light crate. He added an image of a dumpster in front of the woman full of discarded Bud Light boxes branded with the words trash only. Another simple added the word pea water. Bud Light's April partnership has cost the brand's parent company about $22 billion with a B in market cap to date. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you guys are still interested in these videos. I hope you guys are still interested in this boycott. It's super entertaining. It's super important that we ride this through to the end, and we make sure that we send the signal to the rest of these companies that are watching very closely, and they're more concerned about their ESG scores and their DE&I. We need to make sure that they see what happens to Bud Light and that they course correct. And possibly we can get some more of this wokeness out of our society. We can get some normalcy, some equality, some real, treatment for people as far as hiring people on their merits. So guys, don't let down on this. Don't let it get old. This is important. We need it to last. And Bud Light is just hoping that this will get old and that we'll forget all about this, and that they'll end up winning in the end. And we just can't let that happen. We got to stick to this. And if you agree, hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, show your support. All that helps in this fight. So with that, I'm going to check out, and I appreciate you guys watching to the end. I'll see you in the next one.